Hello everyone. So today we will be learning about what is subledger. Now subledger, as the name itself suggests, it's a part of your main ledger. Okay, so is the for example, in debtors we take your total debtors account is a ledger and each individual debtor is a subledger. So total debtors account is a group of individual debtors and we'll have a cumulative balance of all the debtors. Okay, so here we are going to learn about the subledgers for the debtors. Okay, the following example will explain you the concept of subledgers. Messrs. XYZ has two ledger account. One is debtors account and one is advance from debtors. So following are the transaction in the individual debtors account, post necessary entries in the subledger and calculate balance in the two ledger account, that is debtors account and the advance from debtors account. Now as explained earlier, debtors account and advance from debtors account are the nominal account, so they are representative account. So individual debtor account will be your subledger. Then you have name of the debtor, particulars, voucher number and amount, and then for each and every transaction will give you details of all the individual debtors. Okay, then what we are doing here is we are preparing a ledger account for each and every debtor. Now that is a subledger, and the total cumulative effect of each and every subledger is taken into your total debtors account and advance from debtors account. Okay, now the first transaction, 1st March 2016, name of debtor is A, goods sold on credit basis, voucher number is INV and amount is 50,000. Okay, now in the books of Messrs. XYZ, on the debit side of A's account, will post the entry. What will be the entry? A's account debit to sales account. So on 1/3/2016 to sales account, voucher number is INV 001, amount is 50,000. Okay, so now the next transaction, 2/3/2016, name of debtor is B, advance received for a new consignment, voucher number is V001, amount is 25,000. Now here the advance is received for a new consignment. Okay, so there is no sale, so what will be the entry? Cash or bank account debit to B's account. So on the credit side of B's account we'll post this entry. So B's account credit side, 2nd March 2016, by cash or bank account. Since nothing is mentioned whether it's by check or cash, we are just posting the entry as cash or bank account. Voucher number is V001, and the amount is 25,000. Now the next entry, 5/3/2016, C, goods sold on credit basis, INV 002, 65,000. Okay, so C account debit side, it's goods sold on credit basis, so entry will be C's account debit to sales account. So 5/3/2016 to sales account, voucher number is INV 002, amount is 65,000. 002, amount is 65,000. Now let's see the next transaction. Next transaction is 10/3/2016, A, check received for the goods sold on 1/3/2016, invoice number 001. So there was a sale credit sale on 1/3/2016, invoice number 001 of 15,000, against which a check is received. Okay, so the entry will be bank account debit to A's account. So we'll post the entry on the credit side of A's account 10/3/2016 by bank account. Voucher number is V-002 and amount is 50,000. Next, 15/3/2016 B, goods sold for advance received INV 003 10,000. So there was some advance which was received from B, against which the goods are sold. So entry will be B's account debit to sales account. So on the debit side of B's account, we'll post the entry. The entry 15/3/2016 is the date. So on the debit side of B's account, we'll post the entry 15/3/2016. B's account debit to sales account will be the entry, and the invoice number is what? INV 003 and the amount is 10,000. So if you see, on the credit side we have received 25,000, against which we have sold goods worth rupees 10,000. So there is a remaining balance of 15,000 which is still an advance from B. Okay, so subsequent sale will be done to Mr. B. Now the next transaction, 23/2016 D, goods sold on credit basis INV 004 15,000. So on the debit side of D's account, we'll post this entry. The entry will be D's account debit to sales account. So on the debit side, 23/2016 to sales account. The invoice number is INV 004 and amount is 15,000. And amount is 15,000. Now the next transaction is on 25/3/2016 E, advance is received from Mr. E, voucher number is V003, amount is 60,000. Okay, so the entry will be cash or bank account debit to E's account. So on the credit side of E's account, we'll post the entry 25/3/2016 by cash or bank account. Since nothing is mentioned whether it is received in cash or bank, will be debiting both cash or bank account. V003 amount is 60,000. Now we'll balance all the subledgers. Okay, so first is A account. The debit side total is 50,000, credit side total is also 50,000. So there is no balance which is carried forward. Balance in A's account is nil. Now let's go to B's account. In B's account, the credit side total is 25,000 and debit side total is 10,000. Correct. So we have a balance of 25 minus 10, that is 15,000. So 15,000, if you see, this 15,000 is to balance carried down. Now this balance as on 1/4/2016 is a credit balance. Okay, normally all debtors will show debit balance, but since this is an advance received from debtors, this is showing a credit balance. That means 15,000 is the advance which is received from the debtor, that is B. So 15,000 is showing a credit balance. So 15,000 credit. So what does it mean? There are some subsequent sales which are required to be done to Mr. B. Correct? Now we'll see C's account. C's account debit balance is 65,000. I mean debit side total. Credit side total is nil. So 65,000. So as on 31st March 2016, by balance carried down 65,000. So as on 1/4/2016, you have balance on the debit side, to balance brought down 65,000. Now this is a normal debtors balance, that is a debit balance. So sales has been done to Mr. C, but amount is not received, hence 65,000 is a debit balance. Okay, now the D's account. To sales 15,000, then on credit side total is 0, so 15,000. Then 31st March 2016, by balance carried down 15,000, and on 1st April the balance brought down is a debit balance of 15,000. So this is also a normal debtors balance, wherein sale goods have been sold to Mr. D, but amount is not received. So D's account 15,000 debit balance. Next is E's account. Now E's account credit side total is 60,000. On debit side there is no transaction. So both the totals are 60,000. Then on 31st March 2016, to balance carried down as 60,000. Now again this is the credit balance which has been carried down or brought down, because there was an advance which was received from E, correct, and no sale has been done. So E's account is showing a credit balance of 60,000. Now as on 31st March 2016, if we prepare a trial balance as on 31st March or as on 1st April 2016, then the total balance in the debtors account and advance from debtors account will be, all debit balances will take it to debtors account, all credit balances will group it to advance from debtors account. Okay, so let's see. Balance in the A's account is nil, so B's account is showing a 15,000 credit balance. So in advance from debtors account, $15,000. Then let's see, C's account is showing a debit balance of 65,000. So C's account is showing a debit 65,000. 65,000. So 65,000. Remember, here we always take the balance which is brought down. Okay, the balance brought down is on what side? That is a balance, correct? Then D's account is again showing a debit balance of 15,000. Next, E's account is showing a credit balance of 60,000. So the total of the balances will be as on 31st March 2016 or 1/4/2016. Okay, total will be 80,000 debtors account and 75,000 in advance from debtors account. So when we are preparing a trial balance as on 31st March 2016, the trial balance will be appearing somewhat like this: 80,000 debit debtors account and advance from debtors account is 75,000 credit. Okay, so this will be reflected in your trial balance as on 31st March 2016. So as we have seen, subledgers is individual debtors account, okay, and then subsequently they are being grouped as debtors or advance from debtors depending on their nature of the balance at the end of a particular period. Now the purpose of preparing the subledgers is that while preparing a balance sheet or trial balance, it's not practically possible to represent account of each and every debtor. Okay, suppose say there are some 2000 debtors, we cannot keep on representing all the debtors in our trial balance. So for that purpose we are preparing subledgers and then we are grouping it to the main ledgers. So this was about the subledgers.